Yeah, my name is Corey Bulpitt. I have a Haida name, which is Takate Aya, which is roughly like a good carver or gifted carver. Been doing art pretty much my whole life, drawing or doing small sculptures when I was little. And then in 1998 or 99, I can't remember, I started an apprenticeship program with my uncle, Christian White, doing Haida carving, or Haida style carving, and doing a bunch of traditional pieces for our dance group. And Christian's father was Chief Adensu, or Yu-Chieh, known as now, taken, a name hereditary from Charles Yu-Chieh, who was my great-great-grandfather. I think for me, Charles was one of the first kind of contemporary artists of Canada, really, using a true art form from this country and also changing to go with the times, making like compotes or different types of dishes or plates or, things of kind of more European manufacture, but using argillite and traditional motifs and mediums, or, silver spoons, or, it became a silver bracelet trade, which he was kind of highly part of that. So this piece here is a argillite pole by Charles Yu-Chieh. Not sure the museum knew they had it exactly. Just right away when I saw it, you could tell his style. He has certain things that other carvers don't necessarily do. He always has a double line and then hatching inside. He's kind of got double lines along here. For me, it's good being in Vancouver to be able to, go to the Museum of Anthropology or the Royal BC Museum or Vancouver Museum. But for Haida people that are not in the city, it's kind of hard for them to see. Every single thing, that we made was used for recognition, basically, of who you were, your ancestry, your clan. Your bowl had your clan history on it, or your spoon had your history on it, or the clothes you wore, or your hat. Every single thing was embellished with these kind of clan emblems, which were, who you were. And the pieces, a lot of them, they're sitting in a basement all the time, but they were our pieces and are used in various ways by Haida people of today, but they're just sitting in a museum. So a lot of times it can be disheartening with certain pieces, that you could just almost imagine being used, or if we had them still, or if they got handed down through families. But unfortunately, a series of events have led to most things being in museums. We're lucky in some senses that the museum can preserve them for us to see, but then in other senses it's sad that we can't use them, or that they didn't stay in the community. I was never ashamed really of being Haida, but it wasn't always, the best thing in the world as far as, even just police or other people, Canada's a pretty racist place, whether we like to believe it or not, you know what I mean? Like I've definitely got beaten by police for my race, like when I was about 19 or so, so I've kind of had it's a hard place to be. For our people, and it's like, why? When, it's like, I don't know. It's just funny that we've never really gotten respect from the government or the police or, or even the general Canada population gives us, a little bit of acknowledgement nowadays with reconciliation. But there's not much change, you know, and people were taught not to have a pride in their culture for a while, you know, so a lot of people still did, but a lot of people kind of were taught not to, you know, and I think my son, you know, I have like a 10-year-old son, and I could see his generation, you know, I think are like the first, to me it feels like the first Haidas that are kind of born proud to be Haida again. But it's kind of crazy, you know, see poles going up, or see, you know, grow up dancing, just enjoying life and being Haida, you know. Yeah, it's a crazy journey, I think, for the Haida people in general, you know, or you know, the Pacific Northwest.